Lallemand here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, what I do is I do home brewing. Some kits, now some all grain. I brew them, taste test them and review them. Today I'm doing something that I'm gonna hope is really gonna work out well. This came from a friend of mine, Jared Flynn in Australia. He's compiled this together for me. It's going to be a Guinness clone. It's going to be an Irish stout. This here is the grain list he gave me. The homebrew company, I sent them a list and they compiled it for me, crushed the grains for me. I have 2 hop additions. I have my Warlock tablet, and I have my yeast. So what I have done already now is I've got my water up to my 67 degrees. So without any delay, I'm going to cut this bag open and get it in and ready to go. So you can see the grains going in here now. Let them all in. Make that a light stir now. And the rest in. Now, give this a bit of a stir and make sure you don't have any dough balls, as they like to say, which is the likes of this. See this? It's all bunched together. So we just break them up. Oh my god, that smells amazing already. It's only hit the water. That good stouty smell. Seems like I'm down at James's gate here, breathing in the smells coming out of the brewery. Get that. There we go. It seems to be breaking up nicely. No clumps left. What I'll do now is I'll let that do its thing. I'll put the lid on now for the time being. And I might recirculate a bit of water now shortly. Perfect. So just to show you what the recirculation actually is you have your mash here, and every so often I fill up this jug just here from the tap. Handy little tap, has a little lock and all on it in case you had kids or anything. You'll see now you can't just spin it. But anyway, recirculation, literally filling up my jug, pouring that in nice and slowly over the grains. Keep doing that a good few times, put the lid back on, back to it in a little while longer, and do the same process again. It's just recirculating the wort and helping get all the flavours and sugars out of the mash. Okay, so the mash is done now. It's been on there for 1 hour. I've recirculated quite a bit. You've seen the snippet there. So now it's time for the next stage, where I'm going to take the lid off. I'm going to lift the basket up, and for this I have my wonderful assistant, my daughter Sarah, who's going to slide this under so the wort can drain out through the grains. So I'll lift this slowly, and Sarah, you get ready when I tell you. Hang on, I'll let a good bit of that drain out first, and then you want to slide it under there now really fast. Perfect. Thank you very much, darling.
That is so fun.
Now, what I have here now is my Sparge water, which is now boiled on my stove to 80 degrees. What I'm doing this time is something different. I'm actually using this colander for pasta and stuff. It's been sterilised. We'll put it here. So when I put the water in slowly, it'll spread out across the grains and wash all of the goodness and sugars and flavours out for me. So it's spreading the water across and then get it all out for me. So I'm going to do that now. Which I will actually take out a few jugs because the pot is fairly heavy. Put that in like that and spreading around nicely. Here's a wind now. A big gust after coming from somewhere. But I'll do this with all the Sparge water, wash the grains through, and then we'll be on to the boil. So that's what's left of the grains. You can have a look there now. All drained out, a little bit moist but very little left. what I have done is just sitting over the pot that I had the sparge water in now, so if anything else comes out of it I can add it in. Don't think there'll be much to go, but that's what you end up. Okay, so all of the wort now is completely gone down, and we have our temperature now, have it up to the boil. I've set it on the clock there now, so it's going to be boiling now for 1 hour. What we have now is our first hop addition. So you see here, there's 60 minutes to the boil. So that means I've just set this now for 60 minutes, so this goes in at this point. Now, what I will also have is another hop addition, 20 minutes to the boil. So I'll add this in now. There's my daughter coming out there about to knock over my camera and go and see what she needs now in a second. Right, so they're added in. And give us some nice flavours. Then 20 minutes to the boil, I'll be adding this in, and then I will show you then at that stage where we're going from. Okay, so what we have done now is we've added in that second hop addition with 20 minutes to go. Then with 10 minutes to go, I added in the Warflock tablet, which helps clear it, and also this cooling coil. The reason why I add in the cooling coil is because when it goes into the boiling wort, it's also sterilising it. So now what we're going to do is, the clock is finished. All this great little machine, great timers, really takes a lot of effort out. You're not looking at the watch and everything because you can set the clocks. So that's all done and dusted now. What I'm going to do now is move this inside to my bar. We'll hook up the cold mains feed from the mains, and it'll come out here then into the sink, which will help get this cooled down to our desired temperature. So then we can get it from this into the fermentation barrel and get the yeast pitched and let it get going, so it'll be ready to drink. Okay, so here you can see now I have the wort in here with the cooling coil. Cooling coil is in, it's connected to my mains, which comes in here, comes in through this side and out through here. You can actually see how the steam coming off the water. That's cooling that down now. It's just a fast way of cooling it. You can still see the steam is still coming off that as I have just brought it in. So we'll let that cool down, get it to the right temperature, and then we'll go on to the next stage. Okay, so now we have the wort cooled down, which we've done with the cooling coil. So now we're ready to get the wort from here into the fermenter, and then when we have it fully in there, then we'll pitch the yeast. We're literally going to open this tap, it'll flow in there, pick up a bit of oxygen on the way in, which will help. I have a little sup, I'm having a cheeky little sup of an IPA, a few drinks while I'm doing the brews. Absolutely lovely. So literally lift this tap, twist it over, and out she flows. So when that fills up, we're going out here and be ready then to pitch the yeast. Okay, so we're at the stage now. I have all the wort inside the fermenter. I have this, we are using a different yeast now. I haven't used this before. It's a Nottingham high performance yeast. This is also the one my friend Jared Flynn in Australia from D22 Brewing recommended for me. So this is one you hydrate. So you put it into 100 mils of water at between 30 and 35 degrees. You sprinkle the yeast in, leave it for 15 minutes, and then you store briefly and let set for 5. So that's what it's been doing there now. And with this particular yeast, you're getting your wort down. If you can get it down, I think you can go down to 17 degrees with this one. It's a high performance yeast. I have this now at 20. So I'm going to add it in now, screw the lid back on. I have my airlock full of sterilised water. So I'm going to put this in now, lock it up, and supposedly this high performance yeast could even get this fermentation done within 4 days. But sure, look, we'll wait and see. So literally, I'm just going to take this off and pour in the yeast. So there you go. And try to get as much of that out as we can. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to scrape that with the same spoon that I just stirred it with. Get it all out of there. Put that down here for a second. In it goes. I was going to putting that down there. This is handy. What I have here is Sarsan mixing this. So anytime if I put something down, I can just give that a couple of little darts there, and that is fully sanitized, and it's non-rinse sanitizer, so it doesn't matter. I can put it straight on here and it is sanitized. I don't need to worry that it touched the stool or contamination or anything. I'll put this on here now nice and easy. That's the lid on. Just give it a little rattle there like so. Get that yeast mixed up for me now. And what I will do now is we'll leave that there, let it do its thing, and then we'll be on to the tasting. Okay, so we're ready now for the tasting. It's been just a little over 3 weeks. So it's been force carbonated now, and we will pull a pint and see how we go. So initially there now, it is a lighter colour than usual. Oh no, it's darkening up there now as it's settling. There you have it now. You can see it there, settling nicely. As you see with most of my stouts, you see the nice cascading effect happening there. It seems to be a little bit lighter than usual. A nice creamy head forming though, nice white creamy head. It's settling good. As I say, this is now a little over 3 weeks old with the Nottingham yeast, as you see in the video. It speeds up the process a bit, so it ferments faster and nearly aggressively in the fermenter. You could see plenty of action happening, the stuff bubbling away and shooting up and down, but it stopped fairly rapid, but it was full of action at the time. That is settling good, and it's darkening up nicely. You do have that little red peel like you would in a Guinness, nice and cold as well. What I've actually done is I've actually took out my cooler and I got a fridge, and I have the corny kegs in there now, so it's at the same temperature all the time. I'll just top that off there now. Probably do it another second, but I don't want the video to go on too long for you. We'll top it off. Look at that. That looks amazing already, and it hasn't even fully settled. Nice dome on the head, nice creamy head. Let's see what way it finishes. If the head stays similar to that now, that is a perfect looking head on a pint of stout. Just looks very tasty. I nearly want to drink it before it has time to settle, but we'll let it settle. Nice and cold. Smells like a stout. Not as dark. You can kind of see through the bottom. Not like a Guinness, you'd have to pick it up and look at the light, but you can kind of see it here already. Nice head. I don't want it too much bigger than that now. So look, I'm going to go ahead here now and taste it. I'm getting anxious. Cheers. I even split the harp. For those of you who drink Guinness, you know that's a game we try to do. Split the harp, finish your creamy line in between your Guinness and the harp. And to me that is a really, really nice point. Not as heavy. It's not as heavy as a Guinness by any means. I'm actually going to go at it again. Very smooth. There's no real big after twang or anything off it. Very enjoyable. Look at the cream on the glass. Nice head retention there. That is a lovely point. It's blackened nicely. You can see there now how black it is, but yet you can still see it has that slight little bit of a reddy colour coming through from the spotlight there. So all in all, that to me now is a nice point. First grain to glass in a stout, and that is definitely one I'll brew again. It's probably the nicest stout I've actually brewed so far. Yeah, so highly recommend it. If you liked the video, like, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching.